सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रम् अथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मामा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः केनेषितं पतति प्रेषितं मनः केन प्राणः प्रथमः प्रैतियुक्तः केनेषितां वाचमिमां वदन्ति चक्षुश्रोत्रं कौ देवो युनक्ति श्रोत्रस्य श्रोत्रं मनसो मनोयत् वाचोह वाचं स उप्राणस्य प्राणः चक्षुषश्चक्षुरतिमुच्य धीराः प्रेत्यास्माल्लोकात् अमृता भवन्ति So this simple question was asked, impelled by what our indriyas are acting, our mind is also thinking and doing whatever its activities. So for this, the answer was given by the Guru. Indirectly you can say, like saying, that is the ear of the ear, eye of the eye, mind of the mind, like that. And the one who knows this is freed from the notion that I am this body, mind, sense complex. So you transcend this body, mind, sense complex, and because of that alone you become Amritaha, also immortal. So this Jnanam gives you immortality, which is moksha. So that also was said. But then why it has been revealed in this manner? So that is now coming, and then the Mahavakya also comes next. Okay, so next verse we will see. Na chakshur gacchati na va gacchati. No mano na vidmaha. Na vijanimo yathaitad anushishyat. Anyadeva tad viditat. Aviditadadhi. Iti shushruma purvesham. Yenastadvyacha chakshire. So this vastu, which is Muna. So this vastu is something which cannot be pointed out as the meaning of any one word, because no word directly can reveal this vastu, because it is not an object. Only words can only reveal that which can be objectified, and again it can reveal only jati, guna, kriya and sambandha. It can reveal to you species, it can reveal to you attributes or qualities, it can reveal action, and it can reveal relationship or some kind of a connection, correct? Sambandha. But none of this applies to this Atma. The Atma does not have any of these things. In fact, Atma is not even an object. If it is not an object, it cannot have any qualities also. And it is not something which is doing any action, that also you cannot establish. And it is not having any connection also with anything else, because there is no connection between that which is superimposed and the adhisthana, whatever is there, the locus. So like this Atma is not available for any words. Directly you cannot reveal. But that does it mean then you cannot teach? Because there is a teaching, sampradaya is there, guru is there, shishya is there. That is why it has to be taught as shrotrasya shrotram. Because by pointing out as in this manner, what is being pointed out is, it is the very nature of your subject. It is not an object. By saying it is not any object, still subject is there. But the subject cannot be revealed using descriptive words like an object. That is where the limitation is there. But the beauty is, the subject need not be described or revealed through descriptive words. That is because the subject is self-revealing and self-existing. The subject's existence or the subject's existence need not be even known through any pramana. That being the case, all we are doing with words is to remove your wrong notions about yourself. So basically we are revealing the Atman by revealing or by negating all the wrong notions which you have about yourself. That's how the teaching works. So for that only it is, this Atman itself is not revealed through any descriptive words like revealing a cow or any other object, correct? So it is only revealed by pointing out that it is yourself. And it is other than everything which you know as an object. So this Atman, na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vak gacchati. So neither you can objectify it through any indriya, nor through any karmendriya. So chakshuhu and vak can be taken as upalakshana for jnanendriya and karmendriya also. So none of the indriyas can objectify it. Then what about mind? Means mind also cannot objectify this Atma. Then how do we teach it? So na vijanimo etaitad anushishyat. Means then we do not know how to teach this other than the way I have already revealed it to you. Because already it has been taught in the previous mantra. So here when he says that I do not know how to teach it, means we have to say I do not know how to teach it other than the way we have already revealed it to you. That is the only way we can reveal it to you. And further he says why it has to be done. Means anya deva tad vidita datho avidita dadhi. That is because this Atma tad vidita anyat. It is different from all that you have known in your life till now, correct? Everything you have known in your life, you have known it only as an object by objectifying in your mind. Even things like black hole and all that, you still objectify it as a concept. Even concepts we objectify in our mind and we know that. So whatever is known till now, this is other than that. Then what about unknown things? Avidita, dadhi, even unknown things also eventually you will know only as an object, correct? So that means this is not that also. Or another meaning we can take is that Bhashyakara says whatever is vyaktam, correct? Whatever is manifest is all known always, correct? Whatever is manifest in this world, we can know that the manifestation. But then there is also the unmanifest is there, the avyakta. Because before all this creation came about as this vyakta jagat, how was it? Means the Shastra itself says it was all avyakta, avyakruta, correct? It was there in an undifferentiated form or unmanifest form. Scientists also say something like that, correct? Everything was a singularity before the Big Bang. Means that singularity is nothing but basically the avyakta, the potential. See, everything is potentially there. That is the view of the Advaita. So even when we talk about Karana and Karya means something which is manifest, which is available for our perception and objectification. But the Karana always need not be manifest. In the case of material cause, most of the time the Karana is manifest also, because when we see the pot, we also see the clay. But that may not be the case always also. For example, the banyan tree is there in the seed means we don't see the banyan tree in the seed, correct? This example even comes in the Upanishad. Actually, in the Chandogya Upanishad, the banyan seed is taken. In fact, it's very small actually. You can see. But from that, the entire banyan tree is coming. Means it is potentially there, correct? What is potentially there cannot be seen. It's not objectifiable. But it is still there, correct? So the cause is normally having the effect in a potential form. That means the effect already exists in the cause. Understand that. So you have to again go back to nasato vidyate bhavaha, nabhavo vidyate sataha. See, even the things we think are creations, correct? Creation means what do we think? It was not there before and it has come into existence now. But that goes against the nasato vidyate bhavaha, nabhavo vidyate sataha. Bhagavan has said that clearly. So how do we reconcile? Means what you call as creation is really only a manifestation. Is that clear? Our Siddhanta is that there was never anything which is non-existent. Whatever you are seeing here, all of this was either potentially existent or it is now manifest and it is now available for your perception. But it cannot be ever non-existent. Similarly, distraction means what? We think distraction means it was existing but it does not exist anymore. That also goes against nabhavo vidyate sataha. Sataha abhavaha na vidyate. Whatever is there can never become non-existent. So then how do we reconcile that? Means again it has become unmanifest. Whatever is manifest becoming unmanifest alone is called as distraction. So this is called in one way called Satkaryavada also. But the main Satkaryavada is the Sankhya people are supposed to be a Satkaryavadi. The Nayayika and Vaisheshikas are all called Ardhavainashika also. They are called, means half Buddhist. Why? Because they say the effect was not at all there before. A totally new effect has come into being by the process of creation, whatever production you do, correct? And even they claim that the material cause and the effect are totally different entities. That means pot is a totally different entity from the clay. That is their claim. But if pot is totally a different entity from clay, there is no way of measuring a pot, correct? If you weigh the pot, it is the weight of the clay. If you touch the pot, it is the clay you are touching. There is really clay alone is there. So, just because it has a new name and form and function and all that, that doesn't mean it is a separate entity. We do not accept that. So, the ananyatvam between the cause and effect is what? The Advaitin. That is the Siddhanta for us. So, that's why we also do not accept anything newly has come also, we do not accept. So, that way the Sankhya and the Vedantin agree, but the Sankhya is again goes away from that because he also claims that the effect was unmanifest, correct? That is one particular guna. But when it becomes manifest, it is another guna. Therefore, this new guna has come about for him also. A non-existent guna has come about, and they also still claim that the effect and cause are two different entities for them also. They are also Dvaitins that way. So the Sankhya also finally falls into the bracket of Nayayika only because they also claim that the new guna has now come, because of which only the effect has become manifest and all that. But we do not accept even that. The Advaitin is very clear. For us, whatever was there that became manifest now means, that doesn't mean that the manifest effect is something different from the cause. There is no separate entity. There is only one substance really, which is the material cause. So why we are saying this here? Because when we talk about this vidita, then avidita, and all that, of course, the manifest jagat can be known. But whenever the same jagat becomes unmanifest, means it cannot be known, it is there potentially. But this Atma is other than both the cause and effect. Understand that? That is the point here we want to make. The point is that Vidita Anyate Avidita Adhi means it transcends both the cause and effect, both the Vyakrita and Avyakrita. So that's what we have to understand. That is what is called Purushottamaha also. Bhagavan calls this even in the 15th chapter, because he talks about all this Prakriti, etc., and then says this is the one which is other than the Prakriti and also the Purusha, if you take it as a pair, correct? This transcends both. It is both the cause and effect, it is both the subject and object. That is the understanding here. And also the other way also you can take it. One more thing is what? So Vidita means you know something, correct? So I know that I know something. So the knowledge of knowledge also is there. So I see a part means this is part is a knowledge, but I know this part also is there. Both are taking place at the same time. See, even here there are a lot of arguments and all that. Whether these two pieces of knowledge take place at the same time, or one knowledge becomes the Vishaya of another and it takes place next and all that, there are arguments with Nayayika. I don't want to go into all that, but I'm just telling you there are discussions even like that. Because when you see something, there are two things are there, correct? One is the cognition of the object. The other is the cognition that I know this object or I have this knowledge. So whether these two things are happening at the same time or there is a lag, one happens first and that then becomes the Vishaya for the other cognition and all that. But even there our Siddhanta is that both are happening at the same time. It's at the same time only, that's all Sakshi. Sakshi with the Sakshi both are happening at the same time. So I know something. Similarly, when I ask you, do you know Chinese? Means you say, I don't know. Even that also is a knowledge only, correct? I don't know Chinese is actually finally is I know that I don't know Chinese. So that way if you see, you are always that consciousness for whom both knowledge also is there, ignorance also, you only know that. That means what? You are neither knowledgeable nor ignorant. That is your reality. Only with reference to mind, if you see that, you can say that I am a knower, I am an ignorant and all that, correct? Because mind cannot know everything at the same time. Mind, by being a mind only, it is limited. Because how knowledge takes place means, according to our theory of knowledge, mind takes the form of the object. That's what we call it as manovritti, correct? Whenever the mind is cognizing something, the mind is so subtle that it can take the form of that object, and then when the consciousness is manifest in that state of mind, that manovritti, then knowledge takes place of that object, we say. But mind can take the form of an object only, or one group of objects, or only one object at a time, correct? Then it has to go to something else means by that very manovritti only, our ability to know is limited. It cannot take the form of all the objects in the creation at the same time. That is there only with Ishvara, that's why. See, Ishvara knows without mind, understand that. That's why we cannot even imagine the Sarvajñatvam and all. We can talk about it as a concept, but we cannot really appreciate that. Because our knowledge is all only through manovritti. But Ishvara does not require any mind, understand that. Without the mind, everything, Ishvara simply identifies with all knowledge. So when we say Tadaikshata, Upanishad says, correct? Chandogya also, Tadaikshata, So Kamayata, even in Taittiriya also it is there. So Kamayata Bahusyam Praja Yeyeti Satapo tapyata satapas taptva idagum sarvam asrijata. So there the tapas is just identification with all knowledge. It is jnanamayam tapaha. That tad aikshata visualize means again the Brahma Chaitanyam identified with all knowledge, and then the whole creation happened. It is all effortless again. So we have to understand Sarvajñatvam. We can understand like this, but still we cannot really fathom how at the same time all knowledge has happened and all that. But that is in the domain, that is Ishvara's glory. That is what is Ishvara Vibhuti. We have to accept it as it is, I think. But for us, knowledge also is taking place, and knowledge of knowledge takes place. Knowledge of ignorance also is taking place. In fact, really, I am this consciousness to whom knowledge also becomes evident, ignorance also becomes evident. That means I am neither knowledgeable nor ignorant. I am simply a conscious being to whom everything becomes evident. Is that clear? At least with this knowledge, you should no more have any complex that I don't know something and all that. Don't worry. It doesn't really matter. So you are a conscious being to whom both ignorance and knowledge become evident. That is what is you. And further, even with reference to ignorance, one more point also I want to just say is that many people ask, then when did this ignorance start? We say it is beginningless. How do we understand? So let me ask a simple question. I asked, do you know Chinese? You said, I don't know. Now, when did this start? It never started, correct? Always that you never knew Chinese. Ignorance does not begin. It is there, but it can end. Once you know, if you learn something, then the ignorance ends, like that we say. So ignorance doesn't have any beginning, but it will end once that ignorance is gone. Then knowledge takes place, like that we say. So that's why we say that Ajnanam is Anadi. Ajnanam doesn't have a beginning. And this Ajnanam also being an object, it is also Mithya. Understand that. So there is another problem is, how can Brahman have Ajnanam? Because when we talk about this Ajnanam, whenever we talk about ignorance or even knowledge, correct? Knowledge and ignorance both have a Vishaya. Means what is that which you are knowing? The object of knowledge or object of ignorance has to be there. That is called Vishaya. And also where? Because the object itself, where is it located? There has to be a locus and there has to be a object, correct? That's what we call Vishaya and Ashraya. Because who has this knowledge or who has this ignorance? And also this knowledge is with reference to which object, or the ignorance is with reference to which object. So Vishaya and Ashraya, both we have to define normally when we talk about knowledge and ignorance. But in the case of this Brahma Vidya, we say, why when you talk about Brahman knowledge or Brahma Vidya, it implies that there is Brahma Vidya. Correct? Brahma Vidya is there. That's why we are talking about that you have to gain this, you have to have Brahma Jijnasa first. Desire to know Brahman. Then when you know Brahman, this Brahma Vidya, Brahma Ajnanam is gone. So there, in one point there is no dispute. What is that? Brahman is the Vishaya for the Ajnana. Correct? Ajnana Vishaya is Brahman. There nobody has any dispute. Everybody accepts that. Even Dvaitin and Vishishtadvaitin and all, they all accept, because they also, for them also, you have to know the Ishvara properly and all that. But they have, their idea of Ishvara is different. In fact, that will be negated by very Kenopanishad later, we will see. Because they will say that now you have to know only Sri Hari as the Brahman, and then you have to know his Ananta Kalyana Guna and all that. Okay, that way you have to know Bhagavan properly and then do Aradhana to that Bhagavan alone, and then you will get moksha. And that moksha also they have Taratamya there. That is a problem again, because they talk about all these 4 types of moksha and all that. Salokyam first means you go to the same loka, but the problem is too much crowd. Like you go to some temple on whatever, correct? Now recently this Aarsha Darshanam was there. You go to Chidambaram, in the crowd you can't get anywhere. Or you go to Vaikuntha Ekadashi, you go to Srirangam, you go somewhere near and then the crowd itself will take you outside through that Swarga. By the time you come out of Swarga Vasal, you are almost half in Swarga only. Really, correct? Swarga Arohanam is taking place. So if you really come out of, you may have fainted, but if you come back, then you are in this loka. Otherwise, you have gone to Swarga. So that is Salokyam, means even after going to that loka, so much crowd can be there. We don't know. You are standing somewhere in some line and I don't know how high you are also, or tall. If you are not very tall in that loka, you have to be jumping up and down to have a view of Bhagavan. But anyway, that is supposed to be one. Then Samipyam, okay, even there they say, no, some people are special. They go near Bhagavan. So they are standing in the first row, like special screening and all that happens, correct? Then you invite some people, special guests and all are sitting on somebody is in the stage, somebody is sitting in the first row and all that. Like that you can be with Bhagavan. Then Sarupya means you have the Rupa of Bhagavan. Once you start having his Rupa, I don't know, others will get confused then. They don't know who is Bhagavan now because so many people are roaming around with the same Rupa. Then finally Sayujya means you become one with Bhagavan but you are still separate. That means you are like some amoeba. Amoebas are all sitting in my body, correct? Bacteria, virus.
Like that.
Parasites.
All, whether it is a parasite, it need not be parasite. Understand that. All bacteria are not bad. In fact, you cannot even digest your food if the good bacteria are not there. The gut bacteria are the most important thing for your health. And that comes from your mother only actually. And what you actually consume initially as a child, correct? That affects what kind of gut bacteria you have. In fact, these antibiotics and all, they kill lot of good bacteria also, correct? They indiscriminately kill both good and bad ones. That creates a problem of its own. In fact, then you have to regrow all those gut bacteria, still then you have digestion problem. That's why with all antibiotics, they will give you some whatever, Gelusil, Pantacid and things like that. Okay. So, anyway, we don't want to get into all that. That's not our subject matter here. So, what I am saying is, anyway, we went into all these different types of moksha. But it doesn't, for us, that all that is not mukhya moksha. All those things are not considered as mukhya. Moksha here is knowing yourself, aham brahmasmi, that is the moksha we are talking about. And to know that, you have to know yourself as other than all that is known and also other than all that is unknown also. You are neither known nor unknown, means this entire objective world is negated by saying that you are other than all that is known, and even whatever you may imagine or you may not be able to imagine, everything else is unknown, correct?
Yeah.
And all known unknowns and unknown unknowns also you have to include in unknown. Is that clear? Because there are many known unknowns. Even nowadays scientists also say that, correct? They say that there is something called dark matter, dark energy and all that. Recently one scientist gave an interview. He said, so the interviewer is asking this scientist, he said, okay, you scientists and all are talking about so many things, but still you people don't know so many things. Then the scientist says, it is true that we don't know so many things, but at least we know how much we don't know. Then he quantifies, he says we know only 3% of the observable universe. Only 3% of the observable universe is accounted by all our physical laws and all that. 97% is dark matter and dark energy. We have no idea about that. Our theories are also not able to predict anything about that. But at least they have the humility to accept that, correct? So anyway, like this, there are known unknowns. Unknown unknowns also will still be there. So like that, but this Atma is other than all that, means it is just you. Basically, it is just you. It is pointing out, the Upanishad is pointing out that it is you, and this you or I cannot be pointed out by any descriptive words and all that. It has to be taught only by negating your wrong notions, because I itself is placed on whatever is not I. So I have to negate that by saying it is the eye of the eye, ear of the ear and all that. Basically to negate your own wrong notions, thinking that whether the Indriyas themselves are Atma, or mind is Atma, or body is Atma, because the body is also can be taken as Atma because the sense of touch is there everywhere in the body, correct? So body itself is conscious that way because the sense of touch is there all over the body. Then different Indriyas are also, they are all aware of their own sense objects and all that. They are all conscious. Mind also is conscious. So the consciousness is manifest in all these things, and therefore it can be mistaken that these are all really conscious, or whatever, the body itself is conscious and all that. But in reality, it is like the red hot iron only. Body mind sensor complex is like the iron ball. It is not having any Agni of itself. The whatever Agni and all is only, it is there incidentally there, it is manifesting there. It is not intrinsic to the iron ball. So you have to, that discriminatory knowledge is the most important thing. That's why first it was taught that this Atma is other than all these things. It is pure consciousness alone. It is just consciousness. It is awareness, and that being is self-revealing and self-existent. But even now what? There can still be doubt. Is there many Atmas like this or only one? Correct? So that also will be addressed. But before that he says, so Anya Deva Tat Vidita Datho Avidita Dati Iti Shushruma Purvesham Yenas Tadvyacha Chakshire. Now, this is how we were also taught by our Purvesham, means what? Purva Acharyas. So, again, Upanishad is pointing out to the teaching Sampradaya, correct? That's why Sampradaya is so important. You have to learn from a Guru who has learned from his Guru or her Guru and all that, correct? That's because I know how my Guru has taught me, correct? And once I have assimilated that vision, I can also teach in the same manner. Only such a person can really teach, because this subject matter being so subtle, if the teaching methodology is not available properly, you will only be ending up in confusion, because then you will be sitting for some experience to happen and all that. Right? That's what happens in modern Vedanta. Everybody is sitting. Somehow you close your eyes and sit, means some experience, special experience will happen in the white heat of meditation, and suddenly you will become enlightened. You are waiting. I have seen people who are waiting for 30, 40 years and all that. Okay, nothing has happened. Okay, some light and all they are seeing, but that doesn't mean anything, correct? You can see any number of lights and all that, and also they are all having some notions, they are at different levels. Worse confusion is things like, even this kosha, this panchakosha prakriya is there, correct? Panchakosha prakriya, why it is there? Only to negate your notion, wrong placement of I in each of those koshas, correct? Koshavat achadayati iti kosha, like that Bhashyakara says. Means it is as though like a covering. That is because it covers your real identity. Because if I place my eye on the body is Annamaya, because all the idli and dosa we eat only becomes the body, correct? There is no doubt about that. We are all very clear how the body has formed. But I place the eye on the Annamaya. Means the Annamaya as though covers the eye. But then you have to know that Annamaya is not Atma. Or we have to say the other way around. Atma is not Annamaya, but Annamaya is Atma. That also you have to assimilate. Okay. Then similarly what Pranamaya, even hunger and thirst and all the physiological processes are not me really. Okay. But I say I am hungry, I am thirsty and all that, correct? I identify, I place my identity on pranamaya also. That is also a mistake. So you have to get out of that mistake, correct that wrong notion. Like that, then other mayas are also correct. There is a manomaya, vijnanamaya, anandamaya and all that. Now the modern Vedanta, what? They will even ask you in which, are you at Annamaya level or Pranamaya? So you are now progressing from Annamaya to Pranamaya. I don't know. How can you be at only Pranamaya without the Annamaya being there? Only when the body is there. In fact, all the Mayas are there at the same time only. It's not a question that you can progress from one to another and all that. Basically, you have to get rid of this wrong notion that none of these things are really I. It's all an object of my cognition. That itself is good enough to understand this. But people think in all this manner. They think that finally once you reach Anandamaya, it is some bliss you have reached. Okay. So there are confusion like that. Another confusion is this chakra business, correct? Everybody is saying, Pujya Swamiji used to say only chakra which is there is the samsara chakra, correct? You are going round and round and round. That is the only reality. Everybody is there in the samsara chakra. Other than that, whether you are there in Mooladhara, Rajna or whatever. So people say that no, you are stuck in this particular chakra. Then you do this. You come to me, I will clean. I don't know what cleaning they are doing really. Maybe it works for some people. I have no idea because there are people who go for everything. Because you are in trouble. Correct? Those who are in problem, case, correct? That is the case literally. Then you can be taken advantage by anybody because you are desperate. But again, even when you are desperate, you should have the viveka to go to the right person. Or again, we have to say Ishvara Anugraha only, correct? What else we can say? You should have the Anugraha to go to the correct Guru. Otherwise, you can be stuck, you can be in chakra only, you can be in chakra, you can keep going round and round. So the only reality is that you are in samsara chakra. That is the only vicious cycle. You are going round and round. But anyway, okay, we have gone somewhere else. But the point here is, here the Guru is saying, this is how my Gurus, all the Purvesham, many people also, correct? It's all plural. And Naha also he says, Iti Shushruma Purvesham Yenastad. So we heard from our Gurus and they explained to us, Vyacha Chakshire also he uses. So Bhashyakara says, Vishpashtam. Like that he uses the word Brahma Kathayantaha, like that he says. That means they taught us this Brahman clearly. This is the only way it can be taught clearly with clarity. And V and A both are there, correct? V means Vispashtam, A means completely, Asamanta. So Vyacha Chakshire means this is how this vision was given to us completely and with clarity. The main thing is, this is the only thing which can be taught completely also. Understand that. No objective knowledge is complete. Because I have to ask only one more why. You will not know the answer. Right? Whatever. Suppose you say rose is red. Okay. Why it is red? Means most of us are gone even in the first question. But let us say you are some chemist or some biologist and all that. You say no, this pigment is there. Okay. Because of that pigment, it is red. Then you say why that pigment is red? You say okay, the one more level you can get. Okay, that is because it only absorbs the red wavelength and reflects all other wavelengths. It absorbs all other wavelengths and only reflects the red. So you see it as red. So you can give some explanation like that. Then you can further ask why does it absorb all the wavelengths and only reflect the red? Means you have to stuck, correct? You cannot go beyond only up to a certain level. We can go because whatever has parts and whatever is further reducible and all that, we can only go up to a certain level. After that, our knowledge becomes limited. But this Atma is a partless whole. It is the only thing which can be taught completely because it doesn't have any parts. It is already Purnaha and it is not separate from you also. It is yourself. So it is the only knowledge which can be completely transmitted from Guru to Sishya. All other knowledge is only incomplete. It cannot, anything else in the world, you can only, that is why we have more and more specialists nowadays, correct? Who is a specialist? If you see, the one who knows more and more about less and less is the specialist, correct? Because even when we were growing up, we had some problem, means there was only one doctor for the whole family, correct? We used to go to one doctor. Whatever he gave, whether it works or not is a different thing. But we went to one. Now you go, even that heart disease only they have, or you go to eye doctor, there is a retinologist is separately there and some other, within eye only there are 4 or 5 specialists are there. Okay. Or you go to some cardiologist, means there is a general guy, there is somebody who is only doing one particular thing or whatever. So they are all highly specialized, means they know more and more about less and less. But that's how it is. Okay. That's how knowledge is of the objective world. But anyway, so here this knowledge has been communicated to us, okay, by our own gurus, and they have communicated this to us clearly and completely, and that is what now I am also teaching you. So don't ask me why you are saying Shrotrasya Shrotram and all that. That's how it can be taught. Okay. So having said that, now next, very interesting. Yad vacha anabhyuditam yena vag abhyudhyate tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yedidam upasate. So here, yad vacha anabhyuditam, that which cannot be indicated by words, or that which cannot be objectified by the organ of speech, but that by which the organ of the speech and words are all objectified. So till now, that was shown as you, correct? As an individual conscious being. In fact, up to that level, we can even arrive at ourselves by doing Drigdrishya Viveka, correct? For doing Drigdrishya Viveka, you do not need Veda. Even you can do that. The simple rule is that whatever I know is not I. By using that only, you can arrive at the fact that I am a conscious being who is conscious of all this body, mind, sense complex and also the external world and all that. But everything falls under the realm of this or object, and I am only the subject who is a conscious being. But then what is the nature of this subject? That the Veda is coming and revealing. Now the Mahavakya has come. Why? Because that Atma, which cannot be objectified by the organ of speech, but the organ of speech itself is animated by which Atma Chaitanyam, that Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi. Now the Mahavakya has come. That Atma is nothing but Brahman. Brahmatvam Vidhi. Don't think that you are some puny conscious being and there are some 1,000 other conscious beings. It's not like that. That there is only one consciousness, and that is that consciousness which you consider as I is not separate from Brahman. Brahman, which is like Brahman itself means Brihi Vriddhav, it comes from, correct? I told you. Means that which is big, that which is limitless, that which has grown into this entire Srishti, Jagat Karanam Brahma, is this consciousness which you say as Atma. This Atma is not separate from Brahman. So this is a Mahavakya. Yeah. In fact, there is one popular view is there is only 4 Mahavakya. That is only a Upalakshana, correct? For each Veda, just to show that all the Vedas talk about the same subject matter, we assign one Mahavakya to each Veda, correct? And we even assign it to each Matham and all that. There is the Amnaya Matham and all we call it. There is a book also is there. That book is saying, okay, this Matham is for this Veda, and this is the Tirtha, this is the Mahavakya and all that. So if you take Samaveda means Tattvamasi, Samaveda Matha is Puri, like that it is said. Okay, Puri is the Samaveda Matha, correct. And then the first Acharya is so and so, like that, all the details are all there. So like this, Padmapada Acharya is the Puri Acharya, first Acharya they say. So there is something like that is there. Then Yajurveda means Aham Brahmasmi is given. Rigveda means Prajnanam Brahma. See, even in the Bharati Tirtha Vidya Vilasa, you look at all the four sides, Swamiji has put the four Mahavakyas there, correct? Then Ayamatma Brahma is for the Atharvana Veda. But that doesn't mean only four are there. In fact, every Upanishad has Mahavakya. Gita also has many Mahavakyas. Okay? So, Bhagavan says, Jnani to Atmaiva me matam. That also is a Mahavakya, correct? Jnani is nothing other, none other than, he is myself only, he says. So, Mahavakyas are there galore. Everywhere Mahavakya is there in the Upanishads. These are all only indicatory that, okay, just to show that all the Vedas are talking about the same subject matter, we assign one Mahavakya and all that. But this is definitely a Mahavakya. Correct? Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi. Whatever that Shrotrasya Shrotram is not separate from Brahman. But it doesn't stop there. The beauty is that Nedam Edidam Upasate. I don't know how this Vijita, Dvaita, Dvaitis and all handle this. But Brahman is not what you do what you do upasana on. It is not just the upasya devata. In fact, if the why it is said is in upasana there is a upasaka and there is a upasya. There only the division comes, correct? If the upasaka is able to see the underlying truth that both the upasya and upasaka are one and the same, then the upasana phala is really achieved, correct? Then it is fine. But otherwise what, if you think that, in fact, there is in Brihadaranyaka, there is something called Vidya Sutram and Avidya Sutram. Okay? So, the Vidya Sutram says that Atmaiva Atma ityeva upasita, like that, that is called the Vidya Sutra. Means all that is here is Atma alone. Know that. Okay? That is called Vidya Sutram. Then the Avidya Sutram says that I am separate, all the Devas are separate, and then I am doing Upasana of them. If you do like that, then the Upanishad says that Nasa Veda, that person does not know, he is a avidyavan. That is called Avidya Sutra, and it further says that such people are Devanam Pashuhu and all. They become a like you are having cows which are all working for you, you become a Pashu for Devatas. So there is a Avidya Sutra and Vidya Sutra also. Same thing here. So Nedam Edidam Upasate, this Brahman is not what you think, it cannot be objectified. In fact, if you objectify Bhagavan, Bhagavan becomes Jada, Bhagavan becomes Antavat. Correct? All these problems are coming. In spite of all that, they think that no, Mr. Krishna alone is Paramatma. See, all these forms of upasana, but it's not that we are condemning upasana or anything, or we say that it is not required. But the upasana has to lead you to the jnanam that the upasya and upasaka are not separate. Is that clear? Then the upasana has had its intended phala. Otherwise, we are all stuck, correct? We don't know where we are. It can lead you to some, there can be problems. So this Mahavakya is very clear that this, whatever was revealed before as Shrotrasya Shrotram, Vachoha Vacham we have to say here, because here it is saying Yad Vacha Yena Vak Abhyudyate. So this Brahman Again, here we have to recall that this Brahman and both Atman and Brahman, both of them cannot be revealed through words because they are not directly the meaning of any one word. So Brahman also is revealed like that, correct? So how does the Shastra introduce Brahman? It says, Sadeva Somya idam agre asid ekameva advitiyam. So by saying ekameva advitiyam means Brahman does not have what we say as Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata Bheda. We say that. Sajatiya Bheda means what? Suppose I say this cow, means this cow is separate. There are hundreds of cows, correct? That means this cow is different from another cow belonging to the same Jati. That is Sajatiya Bheda. But Brahman does not have another Brahman of the same Jati or anything. So there is no Sajatiya Bheda. Then Vijatiya Bheda means what? If you say cow, cow is not a horse, cow is not an elephant and all that, correct? So it is also different from other Jatis. But Brahman, when you say there is nothing other than Brahman, so where is the Vijatiya Bheda? Then further if you say cow, then cow also has Swagata Bheda. We say. What is that? It is having so many parts, correct? Horns are there. I said dewlap is there. Sasanadi Matvam and all that. So like that, and then whatever, so many organs are there in the cow. In fact, we say that all the devatas are there in the different organs of the cows and all that. So we do go puja. So like that, cow has all these things. Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata Bheda. But by saying Ekam, Eva, Advitiyam. So it is one, only one and non-dual. This Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata Bheda is negated in Brahman. If none of these Vedas are there, it cannot be indicated by any words also. That's why this Brahman also is Vacha Anabhyuditam. Atma also is Vacha Anabhyuditam, correct? Because Atma is always the subject, it can never be objectified. Brahman, although presented as Jagat Karanam, and initially we are trying to objectify Brahman as something which is the cause of this entire world and all that, but still Brahman also is Ekameva Dvitiyam, and it cannot be objectified by any word. And in fact, all words are objectified by this Brahman alone, because Brahman is Jnanam. Is that clear? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam also we say. The Lakshanas for Brahma Lakshanam is what? Brahman is there. First that has to be said, correct? Because otherwise there are Buddhists and others who are even atheists they say that there is nothing, there is no Jagat Karana. In fact, you cannot argue with them purely with logic, correct? Many people think that logically we can establish a creator. But the problem is, you can say that there has to be a creator if you can establish this world is a creation, correct? But the problem is, logically we cannot establish that the world itself is a creation. Is that clear? Even the Jains and all, they simply say that they don't have any Ishvara, correct? They say the world is always like this. Why do you require any creation or any prior state, causal state and all that? World is always, that is called, even scientifically also, there is something called a steady state theory. Okay, Big Bang is only one theory, understand that. There are other theories also. Steady state means always it is like this. Why do you even talk about the previous state and all that? Do you have any proof that there was a previous state? So, if it is always like this, you don't require any creator. Is that clear? So, the Nayayika in fact tries to argue saying that I can logically arrive at, I can do Anumana that there has to be a Karta. But that Anumana has no basis, really speaking, because any Anumana has to start with some basis, correct? Some assumption or some perception. But in this case, you cannot even establish that the world is even if you establish the world is a creator, another problem is there. What is that? in the world all creation involves more than one karma. Nayayika himself talks about sadharanam karanam, asadharanam karanam, samavayi karanam, asamavayi karanam and all that. Then what about, we can still not arrive at that there is only one cause, correct? So first we have to arrive at that the world is a creation. Then you have to say that there is only one cause. But what about that cause then? Does it have a cause or not? Means we have to say it is an uncaused cause. None of these things can be established logically. Is that clear? There is no way you can do that. That's why again you have to only come to Veda Pramana. Brahman is revealed only by the Veda. Veda alone has to reveal that Jagat Karanam is Brahman. And that Brahman is not separate from you also, Veda only has to reveal. But Veda need not reveal your existence, Atman's existence, or that Atma is other than this body, mind, sense complex and all, you can also arrive at it. Okay? But Atman is Brahman, Mahavakya has to be revealed only by the Veda. That equation only the Veda is giving you, and then that equation has to be taught correctly so that you can assimilate the identity. Because obviously Brahman is presented as Sarva Shaktiman, Sarvajnaha, everything is Sarva there, correct? And everything is Alpa here, everything is all there, everything is small here, correct? Because Bhagavan, the word also, so what is the meaning of Bhagavan? Bhagavan we say. Most people don't know the meaning also. Because Bhagavan is similar to words like Balavan and Dhanavan and all that, correct? Balavan and all you know. What is the meaning of Balavan? One who has Balam is Balavan, correct? The Van suffix means one who has. So Balavan means one who has Balam. Dhanavan means one who has Dhanam. Then Bhagavan means what? One who has Bhaga, correct? What is Bhaga?
Sri.
That you don't know.
Six qualities.
Six qualities and all is there in the Purana, but generally Bhaga means, from Bhaga only Bhagyam and all comes, correct? In Tamil we use the word Bhagya. It is my Bhagyam. Correct? Bhagyam, Bhagya Suktam and all is there, correct? Bhaga only is Bhagya. Bhagyam and Bhaga are all same. That Shen Pratyaya, when it comes, the Vidya comes. Bhag becomes Bhag. And the Yakara joins, and then like Sukha becomes Saukhya, correct? Sukham and Saukhyam are really, sometimes the Shen can come without any difference in the meaning. Swarte Shen it is called in the Sanskrit grammar. That suffix comes without adding any new meaning. It is simply there. It's another form of the same word with the whatever. It is another word form with the same meaning, I have to say, correct? That is Swartha. But anyway, so here Bhagya means, in our understanding, it is our good fortune or something like that, correct? So Bhaga also means some kind of wealth. Your good fortune means really it is your wealth and all that, correct? Whatever you have gained, something which you have gained as your good fortune and all that. So in general, Bhaga means, you can say, some kind of a wealth. But then the Vishnu Purana specifically says it is six-fold qualities or six-fold things only make up this Bhaga. And in fact, this Bhagavan Uvacha is there from the beginning in the Bhagavad Gita, correct? But funnily, Bhashyakara doesn't comment on the word Bhaga for a long time, Bhagavan. Somewhere in the third chapter, I think, if I remember, there is one, in the end of the third chapter, there is a Bhagavan Uvacha is there. Okay? I think before this Kama Yesha, Krodha Yesha, Rajoguna Samudbhavaha, Mahashano Mahapavma, Vidyena Miha Vairanam. So before that, there is a Bhagavan Uvacha is there. There suddenly Bhashyakara takes up the word Bhagavan and then says, then he quotes this Vishnu Purana there. It says that, what? So the Bhagavan is one who is having all the sixfold qualities, I said, correct? So what are those? Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashashriyaha jnana vairagyayoschaiva shannam bhagaitirana. Like that there is a shlokam is there, the Vishnu Purana. So Aishwarya, so one who has samagram means complete or total, sarva. So sarva Aishwaryam, Aishwaryasya samagrasya virya, sarva viryam, sarva shaktiman basically. Then Aishwarya, Virya, Yashaha, one who has all fame. Ella Pugaram Irevanike is only our okay, so nobody can take it from us. So don't think that we don't have that. In fact, Vibhuti Yoga is that only, correct? Even in the Gita, Bhagavan says, wherever you see any glory, it is mine only. Yadyad Vibhuti Mat Sattvam Srimad Urjitamevavanal, he says even in the end. After listing out so many things, it's not exhaustive, correct? Basically, he is pointing out wherever you think something is extraordinary, don't think it's separate from me or anything. It is my manifestation only. Like that, so Sarva Yashaha, Sarva Shri also, all resources Bhagavan has. Bhagavan has no problem with any resource constraint and all is not there. Then Jnana, Sarvajnaha. Then Vairagyam also Bhagavan has completely. Why this Vairagyam is mentioned? Because you cannot say I am Bhagavan and say that I will be happy only if I have this. Correct? Or I will be happy only if I don't have this. Both cannot be there for Bhagavan. Bhagavan cannot say, basically Bhagavan is free from Ragadvesha. The Ragadvesha is only a human problem, correct? Bhagavan cannot have that problem. Even Thiruvalluvar says this beautifully in Tamil. He says, Vendudal Vendamai Ilam. Like that he uses the word for Bhagavan. He also uses Bhagavan, correct? Agara Mudra Edithalam Adi Bhagavan. So the Bhagavan word is there in Tirukurat. Then later on he says, Vendudal Vendamai Ilam. That is Sarva Vairagyaha only. Because Bhagavan cannot have Vendudal. Bhagavan cannot say, if I have this only, I will be happy. Nor Bhagavan can say, if mosquito is there, I will not be happy. Both it cannot apply to Bhagavan. So all these things, the one who has, that is Bhaga. The sixfold qualities are Bhaga. And the one who has this is Bhagavan. And that Bhagavan is nothing but Brahman for us. Because Brahman is presented as Jagat Karanam only. Janmatyasya yataha tatastha lakshanam only even Brahma Sutra is presenting. In the Upanishad also it is the same thing is there in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Yato va imani bhutani jayante and all that. So this Jagat Karanam Brahma is equated with this individual. When it is equated, apparently everything is different. But all the differences are given up, means essential identity one has to arrive at by giving up all the apparent contradictions. So we'll see that. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Hari Om